Hello and welcome folks to a modern stream, and boy do we have a spicy one today. This one is coming to you from Mark, who used the donation option in order to submit a deck for me to play, and what he did is he wanted to for me to play a deck that I played in the past, or at least that I brewed with in the past, which is the whole Collected Company plus Dryad, Courser, Crucifix, Knight of the Reliquary thing. But obviously what I was going to try out is adding some Titanias. We're still trying to break Titania, Boys of Gaia. There we go. And I think that this card has the potential to do something because let's say that the CMC for toughness power ratio is decent in modern, and the potential to actually flip it and just go nuts is pretty high. So really excited to try this out. So the shell that I chose to go with, as I said, is the Green White Collected Company deck that I played in the past. A little bit of Hate Bears, but not so much as that. It's more of a proactive deck. So we have Reclaimer, so we have, like, of course, Ursa Saga, and something interesting that I'm going to be trying out, which is one-off copy of Thespian Stage. As you can see, this is a pretty minimal Saga package, so we're not really depending on it, but we do have access to Thespian Stage, which has an interesting combo with Ursa Saga. I don't know if you're aware of this, but like, if you copy Saga with Stage, and then with the third trigger on the stack, you make the Stage copy something else, then because of how layers work, effectively what you get is you get a Saga that is not going to get destroyed. You're going to have a forest that is not going to get destroyed, but that it's going to have the ability from the Ursa Saga to make constructs. So you basically get infinite constructs, or like, I guess you get a lane that can produce a construct every single turn. So that is kind of what we're trying to do. The other thing that Thespian Stage does is it allows you to copy Valakut. So in matchups where we are in on the Valakut plus a Dryad game plan, then we can actually take advantage of that. But as you can see, because the Dryad game plan and the Saga game plan are kind of polar opposites in a way, I'm only going like a little bit on each one of them, so I'm not like relying in having a Dryad in order for my deck to do anything at all, and I'm also not relying on like the Sagas to be able to do all the winning. So kind of splitting the difference a little bit. The nice thing that we have going on is we're going to have Flagstones of Trocaire, which obviously work really well with Reclaimer, but thanks to Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, we can also make it work with Knight of the Reliquary. Of course, we're going to be playing a singleton copy of Argoth that we can tutor for with Reclaimer or Knight, which is pretty nice because we only play a single copy, which is the maximum that we want to be playing, really. I have a very small Saga package over here, nothing too big or crazy. Some Noble Hierarchs and Giver of Runes to protect our creatures. The Thalia slot is the weirdest one. I just could not really figure out on a 2-drop to play. In the sideboard, we're going to have some much better options, but in game one, I don't really have a pretty solid 2-drop to be playing. Like, I don't really want to be playing something like Stoneforge Mystic. I don't think that really synergizes well with the deck, even contrary to what you may expect, since we're playing Shadowspear already. Anyway, it's not good enough, really, in my opinion. So I chose to go with Thalia, which is like a little bit of disruption, bothers some of our potentially bad matchups, like stuff like Cascade. So that's why the Thalias are here. And then we have some Endurances, some Courser of Crucifix, one Skyclave Operation, and one Brutal Cathar. The reason for Cathar is mostly the card Murktide Regent, and I guess like the scam cards, which are also interesting, but like obviously it's not as good there because they bolt the dude and then they get their value back again, so it's probably not the best place to go. As far as the Saber goes, as I was saying, we have some nice effective 2-drops in Sanctifier and Deck and Containment Priest. I know Containment Priest plus Coco is not a combo, but this is the best thing that I could find really against Creativity, and Creativity is like one of the best things in the format right now. I know that I could be playing something like Orvar, but we can't company into Orvar, and like it's making our companies worse, even though this is also making our company worse, but bear with me. So the idea being we can company into this and stop resolving Creativity, and not only that, but we can also mess around with other decks, like for example living in or stuff like that. So Condemned Priest, potentially an interesting card. Sanctifying Beck is just like a banger against the Red Black Scam, which is extremely popular right now. So I imagine that as long as I can go turn 2 Sanctifying Beck, I'm going to be in good shape. Some more copies of Brutal Cathar, again, mostly for Murktide Regent, but obviously against other stuff as well, other creature decks. Archon of Emeria, mostly against Cascade. Prismatic Ending against stuff like Hammer, and against decks that we need to interact against in the early game. An extra copy of Endurance, a Knight of Autumn, and a singleton Pity Needle that we can find of Ursa Saga. This is mostly thinking about stuff like Yawgmoth and decks like that, where Planeswalker decks even, where I need to have access to a way to stop those. And finally, a singleton copy of MtgBRO that we can search with both Reclaimer and Knight of the Reliquary. This is going to be the deck list that we're going to be playing through in Modern League. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to use the services from Mana Traders and TCG Player, you can support the stream for free while you do so by using the links in the description down below. You can also find a code to Mana Traders 10% off for the first 2 months. And if you would like to support the stream, you can do so through Patreon, through donations, just like Mark did here. Thank you, Mark, once again. And finally, by booking coaching sessions with me. All of the information is in the description of the video down below. Check it out, and we'll see you for round number 1. All right, what do we got here? Well, this hand looks fantastic. Let's keep it. So we can go turn 1, Yavimaya into Hierarch. Turn 2, we can either play Thalia or play Titania. Titania probably not doing too much for me. Lightning, I imagine Lightning Bolt's going to be in my future here. Yeah, okay, whatever. A card that answers the Hierarch. So we're going to be playing our 2-drop. Look at this, just like we drew it up. So I guess we're playing against Murktide, if I had to guess. Opponent plays Sword at War. I wonder if they're trying to figure out whether they should main face. Oh. Well, I was not expecting that. Okay. The defensive Thassa's Oracle. Okay. That's... hello there. I think I'm just going to play Titania here. And we get to play Argoth untap next turn. How hot is that? How hot is that we get to play Argoth untap next turn? And that means I could potentially like play Shadow Spear and equip on Titania. I could play Shadow Spear and equip on Thalia as well. Yeah, that's probably better since it would allow me a double attack. So this is Breach then. Now we know. Now we know. So they did find a bubble. Actually, I messed this up, I guess, because I kind of want to Cathar this, and I think it's better for me to Cathar the Emery and get in there with Titania. This is at the beginning of Upkeep. That is so rough. That is so rough. Yeah, I should have played a Temple Guard on top. I mean, I don't think my lifestyle doesn't matter in this matchup, right? So it's not really that big of a deal, but still the correct thing to be doing. So here my opponent can potentially like shock my Brutal Cathar. That would give them back the Emery. Or just cast another Emery, I guess. So we're going to swing for 6 here. My opponent's a little bit short on mana, which is good for me. Dryad, does that do anything? I don't think it does. So let's just play out this Shadow Spear. Let's suit up Thalia. Yeah, let's suit up Thalia. And now we serve with these. Cathar can't actually get in there, which is rough. Thalia seems to be doing some pretty serious work right here. So they can technically Spellbomb here, but even if they want to cast this bubble, it costs them 1 mana when they only have 3 lands in play. So Thalia is doing some serious work here, which is nice. My opponent's draw has been a little bit awkward. Okay, so they play a land, blue and red, 3rd Path Iconoclast. Okay, that's a little bit annoying. So they cast the Spellbomb. So now, if I attack with everything, opponent can get the trade here, but I feel like that trade's probably good for me. It may not be. So if I cycle Spara's Headquarters, is there anything I can draw? Not really. So I guess what I want to do is I want to move Shadow Spear over here and then swing with everything. It's not the best play, but it is what it is. So this brings my opponent down to 1. Somehow I assume that if my opponent gets to do the thing here, we're probably gonna lose. They are down to 4 though. Just gonna play a land and pass the turn. So I imagine they're just gonna spellbomb the Thalia, and that's going to unlock a lot about their hand, which is spellbomb the Thalia is another reason to put the Shadow Spear over here. I can draw something like Balakut. That would be a nice draw. Collected Company, Skyclave Apparition. All of those are the cards that I'm looking for here. So they crack the spellbomb, bouncing Thalia. Now it's time for some action. Okay, Bubble. They should probably just recast the Aether Spellbomb, right? Yep. This Iconoclast card is looking really good here. Monkey. Okay. Can I draw Valakut? Because if I draw Valakut, I make things really awkward for my opponent. Because they kind of are forced to bounce the Dryad. Endurance would also be very interesting. Again, we have stuff like Collective Company. That's probably my best draw. So if I swing here and here... Let's say I swing with everything. How does my opponent block? They probably bounce Cathar. Bounce Dryad. They probably just chomp. Yeah, this seems fine. I guess they can trade with Cathar if they want to. But I think I'm okay with that. So they can throw Monkey and Soldier Token in front of Cathar. I guess they have Heat. Yeah, this is obviously a blowout. They probably just double chomp here, right? It's gotta be the double chomp. So we're gonna play a Reclaimer. Play this. And my opponent's basically forced to bounce. They're basically forced to bounce the Thalia here. So I'm gonna equip on Reclaimer so I can block the Monkey. Although I guess if they bounce Thalia, then I can just... Like, they bounce Thalia, then redeploy Spellbomb, and then they're gonna have a thing to bounce Dryad here. That's probably fine, though. As long as they're not killing me. Like, I'm gonna be able to kill this and this eventually, right? Like, if I untap, I'm gonna be able to kill both of these. So my opponent kind of has to main phase right now, play Spellbomb, and use it to bounce Reclaimer. Like, if they don't do that, they're gonna be in really bad shape. So I think they have to do that right now. Yep. They see the line. Figure out what matters. Monkey getting in there, I don't think it's a big deal because they just used up all their mana, so... That's the only hit that matters? I guess maybe Giver of Runes also matters. But I think this is literally the only hit that matters. Because it's a 1-mana 3/4. Oh, Underworld Breach. Okay. Okay, so what now? They're just gonna value, draw a bunch of cards, make a bunch of soldiers. If they were gonna do this, why didn't they attack? That's weird. So what's my best draw here? Probably Skyclave Apparition. Skyclave Apparition or Collected Company are probably my best. Apparition answers Emery. And then that's it. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't play a free 3/4. Like, that seems beefy. Although I guess, you know, if they're gonna go for Breach, drawing a bunch of cards is probably better. So it does make sense. It's gonna be like a 2-mana draw 7, maybe? We'll see. I honestly lost count of how many triggers there were. Oh, it's just a draw 4. Okay, just a 2-mana draw 4. Okay, it's not obviously no big. Skyclave, Collected Company. All right, here we go. What do we find? Coco, what do you got for me? Okay. So if we get Reclaimer Endurance, I can say, okay, we shuffle away my opponent's thing. And do I play Thalia or another Reclaimer? I guess I play Thalia. I'm actually going to play another Reclaimer. This may be wrong, but again, if we go to my upkeep, I win. So my opponent does not have, as is, they do not have Delirium. So they're going to have the full grip. They don't have a stocked graveyard, however. And now my opponent's going to need to have 2 removal spells for each, one for each Reclaimer. Emery is a decent start. It's basically 1 mana mill 4. But that's actually pretty good here. Yeah, okay, so now never mind. They have Delirium. They basically just Vision Charm themselves. Okay, that's a bubble. If they attack, do I even block? Probably not. Play Saga. Top land for green. Grinding Station. Do they also have the Breach? If they have the Breach, we just lose. Bubble themselves. They're just taking so many game actions. So many game actions. So they draw their card. Play Thalia. We're gonna go into their upkeep. And then we're gonna threaten to do some Valakutting. Mill me for 3. That's fine. They're trying to mill my Valakut there. Ooh, I gain 2 life. Value. Alright. Upkeep. 1, 2. Activate Reclaimer. Gain 2 life. More value. Get a Valakut. Gonna target your face. Do you have the Unholy Heat? Always yes. Always yield. Activate other Reclaimer. Sack Yavimaya. This basically destroys this land. Gonna see if my opponent has another. Do we have the Unholy Heat or not? They do not. Excellent. Beautiful and fantastic. Alright, so now we get to do some things. First of all, MtgBRO coming in. Endurance is coming in. Archon of Ephemeria is coming in. Knight of Autumn is coming in. The question is, I wonder if Sanctifier is good enough. So Sanctifier makes them getting a Delirium a little bit tougher. I think the Hires can go. Probably Titania is gonna go. And then this means I can cut Argoth because I'm bringing in MtgBRO. Probably. So it's either these or some copies of Prismatic Ending. Either card is quite defensible, actually. Let's go with the Sanct. I want to see whether these cards are actually good. Yeah, this looks good. I could see myself cutting a Saga too. And then that opens up cutting Shadow Spear and stuff. Let's keep this hand. Turn 1 Giver, turn 2 Thalia. Decent hand. Turn 1 Monkey though. Here's a Giver. Do I trade? I think so. I guess I'm not given the option. Can we please dodge the Monkey? Courser. Okay, that's fine. Don't care about that one going. Gonna play Emry here potentially. No Emry. Grinding State. Alright. Now we untap. Here's a Thalia. Your go. They're gonna need to have another removal spell here. Do they have it? They do. Alright. So next turn we do get to Knight of Autumn, which is nice. So in Knight of Autumn we blow up their Grinding Station. Well, there's a company. That would have been nice to draw. Yeah. Let's do that. Wait, do they have counterspell for this? There's no way. They're just fetching. So this is a nice one that we can just trade for the Monkey. We don't care. A little awkward that next turn we're not going to be able to double spell. We either play Knight or we play Giver. So it's pretty awkward. Metallic Rebuke? Oh, Dress Down. Why? Why? That's... Huh. Alright. I mean, that's a weird card for them to have in their deck, but I guess it's fine. If they offer the trade, I take it with a smile. Seems like a fantastic trade for me. They probably have another one, I imagine. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so they play a land and then pass it back. Let's see what's up here. Interesting. So I can go play Yavimaya, play Drum. Oh yeah, that's really funny. Every time I play an artifact, it triggers for them. So I'm gonna go play Knight. This is really awkward that the Knight is only a 2/2, but it is what it is. But if my opponent attacks with Monkey, I'm just gonna offer the Giver as a trade. So that's why I want to play it second. If we end up with Knight, I'm gonna feel like we're in really good shape. So honestly, that may be just an argument for me to simply just do it, right? They just take the 2 damage from the Monkey. So they grind themselves, sacrificing the Grinding Station, which is a little bit surprising. I guess they just have a Breach. They're gonna replay the Grinding Station. Can they filter the mana? I mean, we'll see. We'll see whether we die or not. I'm honestly not sure. They may have it. Actually, they may not. Like I think that what they need is I think that what they need is Springleaf Drum, and they only have one. So if the Springleaf Drum is in the bottom 3 cards of their deck, they're not going to have enough mana to actually do the thing. So I should not concede here. I'm just gonna, of course, just have them do the thing. Never mind, just as I said that, they found the they found the drum. So now they need to find the Moxamber. Alright, so they found the Moxamber, so I think I'm dead at this point if they play their cards correctly. Now they just play Moxamber, they float a red, they sack the Moxamber. Now they play Springleaf Drum, they tap Springleaf Drum for blue. Do they have enough cards, actually? Do they have enough cards in the graveyard? I think they may have, but I'm honestly not sure. Okay. Because I'm not sure if they have... Because it's going to cost them 2 mana to cast the Emery. There they played the drum. That is blue mana. They sack because of the trigger on the stack. Now they need to spend 2 mana to cast Emery. That's going to mean 4 cards. Then they're going to have to mill again. I think they have enough. I think that they have exactly enough. I guess they have like one more. They would have had like one more thing. Like if they had found the Moxamber like 1 mill 3 afterwards, they would have not have enough carding there. Not one, even just the one. They had exactly enough cards to exile from their deck. So they got there exactly because they only have 2 cards left in their graveyard and they cast it with 0 mana floating. So if they had found the Moxamber even like one more mill afterwards, then we would have won because they would have just they wouldn't have had the mana. We do get to see how they cybered. We do get to see their 75. So they still have the fairies. They have Dress Down, and we see Engineered Explosives, which is kind of surprising, but sure. Does that mean... Oh, Peating Needle. Why did I not bring in Peating Needle? I'm just silly. Sometimes I'm just silly. Do any of those cards make... I mean, Sanctifier, it does make it significantly tougher for them to go off. I'm just gonna cut Coursers. I just cut Coursers and bring in the 2 Sanctifiers and I guess a Miser's Prismatic Ending. Guess I could also cut the Brutal Cathar for another ending. Yeah, let's go with this. This seems much better. This hand does not seem good though. Alright. Yeah. This hand speaks to me. What do I want to bottom? I think I'm going to bottom a land. It's a little bit greedy, but I think I want to bottom one of the lands. Then I can fetch for Temple Garden with Mesa and play my Giver on turn 1, say go. Turn 2, Thalia. I'm going to try to play around an Engineer Explosive, so I'm just not going to randomly run this Peating Needle out there. Okay. Sucks a little bit. The good thing, though, is that if we do... I guess if we do find a land, we're going to be cooking. So swing here. And it's nice that we do have access to Bojuka Bog. So now we get to play Reclaimer and pass the turn back. Opponent could have double removal spell. C'est la vie if that's the case. It's not much that we can really do. There's a hit for the Thalia. And now we do have Reclaimer. Let's see if that does anything. 2 mana for Emery. Both Dress Downs gone. We untap. Interesting. So I could go Drum into Needle here. Needle naming Emery. Alternatively, I can just activate Reclaimer. Let's go Drum into Needle and Holding Up Endurance. Like, I'm actually low on mana here. Opponent fetches, but like I'm not gonna name. I'm gonna name Emery regardless. Emery, Lurker of the Lock. Your go. So now next turn we can potentially play Knight if we really have to. I would love to not have to. I would love to just draw Flagstones, right? Like if we just draw Flagstones, then we're cooking. Opponent has got Prismatic Ending, that's bad for me. I'm gonna let them have the Shadow Spear though. Like if this is all they're getting back, this is okay with me. Not super worried about that. They can suit up Emery here. Oh, wait, what? That's weird. Because they could have... Like, it's so much better for them to try to, like, get a bubble there, right? We do have Surprise Endurance, and we also have access to Bojuka Bog. Flagstones. Land. Okay. Gonna pass the turn. They have literally no artifacts in their graveyard. It's expressive iteration. Breach. So multiple ways we can go about this. I think I'm just going to Reclaimer, sack, get Bojuka Bog in response to this. It slows down my development a little bit, but obviously slows my opponents a lot more. So now Breach resolves. They play another Wara. Grinding. Okay. Tap. I think if I Endurance here, we win, right? Maybe not, but I think this is the time to Endurance. So Endurance my opponent. So now they can't keep going. They can mill Shadow. They can get Shadow Spear, and they can hope that they mill a 0, but they didn't. I still think it's correct for me to go for the Endurance there. Prismatic Ending is a sick draw. I think it's better to kill the Emerald. So let's get Temple Garden, I guess. Yeah, I do have double whites. So Prismatic Ending. Swing for 3. 0 cards in hand for opponent. They can just run Holy Heat, and then we're both top decking, right? But Prismatic Ending, like whatever kills a Reclaimer. Yeah, there we go. So now I think my opponent is ahead, but I have draws that actually put me ahead. So now blow up Grinding Station. Now I am the one that's ahead. Not by too much, because my opponent has like draw 2s and stuff, but we are ahead. We're also pretty significantly ahead on clock. Ooh, that's nice. This also makes it so like Monkey is no longer a concern. I was gonna say like maybe I'm not supposed to attack with Knight, but now that I have this, like I just don't care about the Monkey anymore, which is good for me. Opponent simply passes the turn back, and now we get to play a Knight of the Reliquary, which seems pretty decent. So it's a 6/6. It dies to an Holy Heat, but wow, that's exactly what they drew. All right. I mean, I'm still gonna race, right? I want to minimize, like they can draw a Monkey, but like I still want to minimize the amount of turns that they have. Okay, so that kills Sanctifier, and that's a blank draw. There's no reason for me to hold on to. There's no reason for me to hold on to the basic forest. I don't think having more lands is better. More lands, more better. What do you draw, opponent? Expressive Iteration, dashed Monkey. Okay. Why is my opponent top decking so well? Why are they top decking so well? Why are they top decking so much better than I am? Dude, this is devastating. I can't believe how my opponent top decked exactly an Holy Heat into Monkey. If they could have stacked their deck, I guess they would have drawn the Monkey a little bit earlier, but still. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely astonishing how perfect both of those top decks are. Obviously gonna trade here. Also, my opponent should have probably, I guess they're trying to end the game quickly, but they should have probably just like sacked their Hierophant to find Nursa Saga. That seems so much better. Now we get to ambush. Now we get to ambush the Knight, probably. We can also ambush the Ragavan. I'm gonna ambush the Ragavan, actually. Knight hits me for 2, I'm dead to Lightning Bolt, which I know my opponent's got in their deck. But I think that the clock is my win condition at this point, or like my top deck, I guess. Something good. Collected Company counts as something good. Giver of Runes, Thalia. Okay. And now that I drew 2 creatures, we attack for 3. This puts my opponent down to 2. We lose to Lightning Bolt, but what can you do? Expressive Iteration into Lightning Bolt also does it. They should have floated mana, probably. Yeah, this is what my opponent should have done 2 turns ago, I think. Wow. That was a roller coaster. Oh my god. That was a freaking roller coaster. We would have gotten there anyway. So my opponent top decked perfects, but we top decked perfectors. Turn 1 Reclaimer. Turn 2 Activate. Let's go. So I'm probably going to lead on Wooded Foothill, so I can go turn 1 Fetch for a basic forest. Turn 2... actually, I think I want to get a Temple Garden. But the idea being that I want to make sure that I can make Reclaimer into a 3/4 by turn 2. Bloodstain. Let's see what opponent's got. This scam. Monkey. Okay. So let's get a fetch land. Plains. Pass the turn. When I place a land of fetches, let's see what their turn 2 looks like. It's kind of unfortunate how... Oh, terminate. Interesting. So I think I'm gonna crack, and I think that the plan is gonna be to get Valakut. I could get Saga, but then we get blown out, so... I could also get Flagstones, which is better if I draw Reclaimer, but I think I'm just gonna get Valakut and just get that into play. It's gonna mess my mana up a little bit, but... So we're gonna take 2 here, they flip, a Dryad, so nothing. Untap. Land would have been so sick there. Can't even imagine how sick it would have been to find a land there. Here's a Dryad. If I had found a land that would have been in such great shape, then we can just go play Hierarch. Or, yeah, probably play Hierarch and then set up Company for next turn. If this is a Blood Moon, Grief. So they basically have to take Collected Company here. And that gives me some options next turn. They could just take Titania, but I doubt that that's the way to go. Just take Company. They can't attack. Untap into Plains. Yep, so let's play Titania. And we're going to play Giver of Runes. We're going to pass the turn back. Opponent doesn't have good attacks here, which is nice. So either Reclaimer or... I mean, obviously, probably my best draw is just Company, but like either Reclaimer or Knight of Reliquary are also fantastic draws. Courser of Crufix would be fantastic. We do have some pretty good draws here. And my opponent's time is kind of running out here. Thalia, okay. Noble Hierarch. And now I think I want to swing for 4. We start racing. If they want to double block, I just split with Giver. So it's pretty cool here that we get to like double block with Dryad plus Thalia. And we like first strike damage happens first, which is pretty cool. I guess Fury is the only card that matters. Yep, let's pack it in. Alright, so we want Sanctifiers. We probably want Knight of Bottoms. Probably need Endurance. Containment Priest is awkward. I think what I want to do is just want to cut the Saga package. And if I cut the Saga package, now all of a sudden I have a lot of room. We're playing 24 lands, which I'm not super stoked about, but we have Hierarch. Brutal Cathar is... Man, I don't think I like Brutal Cathar. Like, it's just such a liability. The chances that we get blown out is so high. All my opponent needs to do is just like kill the Cathar, and then all of a sudden they just get back their Grief or their Fury trigger. Like, it's just devastating. So here we have like a little bit more of a value approach. I do like endings, however, and I would like to make room for them. Probably over Hierarchs. I like this a lot. Opponent keeps 7, and I think I'm gonna keep this. Again, like most hands are probably just keepable versus this scam deck. More often than not, just straight up out of necessity. So I'm gonna play Reclaimer on 1, and if we untap with it, I think that we're gonna be heavy favorites. Thoughtseize. Nothing they take here. The only thing that matters is this flag. If we untap with Reclaimer, I think that it's very, very likely that they take Dryad. Cleaves. Removal? No removal. Here we go. We don't have to play around Opposition Agent in Modern, which is nice. But this is gonna give me the white mana that I need and the green mana that I need if I want to. So we're gonna fetch for basic plains of the Flagstones trigger. And then I think I'm just fetching for another Flagstones here. My opponent did not have the removal last turn. Even if they do here, I get to play Knight, so it's fine. Yeah, we're shocking. Play another Reclaimer, and I think I play Giver. I'm not gonna play around. If we need to turn Reclaimers into 3/4, we can do it by sacking Temple Garden and getting another Flagstones, then doing that thing. Push my... Wow, they could have pushed Reclaimer and they didn't? No way. Wait, what's my opponent game plan here? Hidetsugu? Blood Moon. That's very beatable for me right now. Get another basic plains. Get a basic forest. This is extremely beatable for me. So we play Reliquary, we sack here, get the second basic forest. Now Reclaimers are 3/4. Now we have a 2 3/4 and a 5/5. Even if they do this scam grief thing, like it's just not good enough anymore. They just do nothing. Straight up nothing. Huh. Well, let's Prismatic Ending the Blood Moon. And I get to sack Temple Garden. Maybe I shouldn't even be doing this and I should just be attacking and holding up Endurance. So I'm gonna swing for 4. Maybe I should have gotten Yavimaya there. No, but then I get one more land off Reclaimer, which is nice. We still have Endurance if we need it. Terminate. My opponent's use of removal has me skeptical. Season Pyromancer. That's perfectly fine. Can we do it? I mean, I'm gonna go for it, right? I am not going to go for it. Let me put it like that. If you think I'm not gonna go for it, you could not be any more wrong. So we just get Argoth here. I could bog them, but like if they're spending their turn using Seashore Pyromancer, like that's fine. I'm stoked about that. So I'd rather just have another green source. Oh, sure. I mean, I could go for the easy line. I could go for the correct line, or I could go for the fun line. Which one do you think I'm gonna be taking? You know, who do you think I am? This is happening, folks. This is happening. So if they rebirth here, I'm just gonna Endurance. Which is sad, honestly. Which is kind of just sad. Because I'm not gonna get to flip Titania. Making objectively incorrect plays just to flip Titania, and I still am not gonna be able to do it. Man, that sucks. So they take 3 down to 9. Looking pretty good here. They better have an answer for this, because it's flipping. It's happening. It is happening. Alright, so I'll take 1. You know what, opponent? I'm feeling gracious. I am feeling gracious. Okay, so end step. Let's put Endurance into play. So look at this number right here, where I'm gonna get all of my lands back, and then my Reclaimers are gonna be 1/2s. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Triggers! I would like to announce my triggers, please. Yes! Yes! It has happened. Thank you, opponent, for letting me leave this moment. Thank you, opponent, for giving me the satisfaction. I appreciate it. You've got no idea how much this means to me. Oh, this is Vigilance too? Damn, that's so many keywords. Vigilance, Reach, Trample, Haste. That's a lot of keywords. I love how there's a freaking line in the middle of the card, which is hilarious. They discard a card. They deal 2 damage to any target. Alright, resolves. I'll discard another Titania. I love how the ability went into the graveyard. Not the card, but the ability. The effect. Sure. Wow, both cards go into the graveyard, which grows the Reclaimer into a 3/4. That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait on my opponent's upkeep. Do I want to play around Terminate or do I want to play around Push? I think their last card in hand is just... I think the last card in hand is like a thing that brings back a thing. Which obviously you know what I mean, right? Obviously I mean the thing that gets back. Like an Undying effect. So I'm just going to get a Valakut here. Face them for 3. 3. They can draw a card, take 2 in the process. And there's no removal spell that kills the Dryad, so... Got there versus the scam. Feels good. Round number 3 and we're playing against Jegantha. I think I'll keep this. Gonna lead on... I think we lead on Argoth. Say go. Gonna get basic plains on 2. And play Thalia. But I want to get the Argoth out of the way. Because like this land is gonna enter... It's basically an ETB tap land. There's only Titania that allows it to enter untapped. So... obviously not enough. What could Jegantha be? Just Prowess? Definitely looks like. Not excited to see Soulscar Mage, however. Because usually Prowess decks struggle to beat a big Knight of the Reliquary, but Soulscar Mage it's how they do it. The way that they do it is they just get a Soulscar Mage and they just start to put counters on my poor Knight. Double Knight is sick though. Double Knight is very, very good for me. Here we can't block, which sucks. But the thing is that there's not that many ways that my opponent can punish me. Like they just gut shot the Thalia. Sure, fine, whatever. Yeah, so... do we get another Plains? I'm gonna basic. The question is whether I get another Plains or a basic Force. I think I'm just gonna get a Plains. I'm not gonna play around Blood Moon. So here's a 4/4. And if I do untap with this 4/4, it's gonna be a lot bigger. Iteration. That's bad for me, because it means that I probably can't block. The good thing, though, is that that means that I'm probably going, unless they have another gut shot into Bolt, then I'm going to get to untap with Knight, which is obviously going to be a huge, huge deal. Yep. No blocks. Thank you. Just take it. Well, that's good. That's good for us. That's interesting. So we play a land, and we play this Knight. And here's a drum, and here's a passing of the turn. And now we're probably going to start blocking. Fetch for Mountain on my insta, but not use the mana is Manamorphose. Okay, blue and red. Iteration. Okay. Exiling Bubble. Ooh, fancy bubble. Fancy, fancy bubble. So no land. This means if I double block, I can turn knights into 6/6s. So I think I put both of these knights in front of the Soulscar Mage. Mutagenic growth. Okay. Do we have more of that? Bold face. It's interesting. Okay. Well, fetch land. Fetch for a tap Temple Garden. Let's see if they got more. They don't have more. Okay, so that's good. Crack Bubble. No, those bubble look really, really nice. So this can only be activated at sorcery speed, which is a little bit awkward. So I can fetch for basic forest. So I think we're gonna fetch for basic, activate, hopefully mill some lands. Okay. That's 3 lands. That's cool. So I'm just going to hold back and then win in a single attack next turn. Okay, so I guess it wouldn't have been. So if I die, I just die, right? There's not much that I can really do here. If I die to the flyer, just die to the flyer. Iteration. That's 3. But that's all of my opponent's mana. So now they will need to hit what, like double mutagenic growth? I guess like we could have played around double mutagenic growth by actually attacking. But I think it's more likely they have Swift Spear, right? So Prismatic Ending looks good. Sanctifier looks fantastic. Endurance seems okay. Archon seems okay. Hierarch seems terrible. Soul Guide seems bad. Knight to gain 4, I guess. Brutal Cathar seems bad. I'm probably going to keep Skyclave, but Brutal Cathar definitely seems bad. Courser seems great. So something's going to have to go. It's either going to be the Titania package, or the Saga package. And I'm not sure what it should be. I'm kind of inclined towards Saga's going to go, because I'm just not going to have the time. And Titania it has reach at least, so that keyword really matters versus the little guy. It's probably too slow though. So let's cut 1 Titania, and let's cut Thespian Stage. And last cut is gonna be Springleaf Drum, I guess. Could have cut 1 Saga maybe. Huh. Okay. It's an interesting draw for sure. I really like the fact that we have hard removal, ×2 actually. And my best draw is probably basic lands or fetch lands. Well, that's dead. Nice. Yeah, so I think... No, actually, we probably can't do that. Like, I think I have to Prismatic Ending here. So now I can play double Reclaimer next turn if my opponent doesn't deploy a threat. If they do, I just kill whatever threat that they deploy. Particularly killing that one. That one is the scariest threat possible. I'm gonna get a basic forest and Prismatic Ending, white and 1. They could Blood Moon me here, and that would suck, but I can still beat it thanks to Reclaimer. Yeah, this is kind of fine. So they're hitting the land drops. Soulscar Mage. They're kind of running low over there. So I can make a 4/4. Or I can play 2 3/4s. I think I like playing a 4/4 better. Particularly because it immediately turns... Like, it's more likely that the 4/4 survives than the 2... I guess it doesn't matter. It just uses my mana more efficiently. That's the only difference. They have Lava Dart in the graveyard, though, so they can go Bolt plus Dart. We're done. But then they're not doing, like, iteration things. Oh yeah, well we can probably beat that one. No blocks, thank you. That's a good attack from my opponent, because I definitely can't block there. Now I could go for Collected Company, but I think I'd rather just go for play 2 3/4, and we're gonna get Flagstones off of Knight of the Reliquary. I could get Saga to try to set up Shadow Spear. I don't think that's what I want to do. Well, you're forcing my hand. That's good. That worked out. All right. Okay. Another Jegantha gamer. I'm gonna lead on probably basic forest into, because I have enough land, so we can go basic forest into Hierarch. If the Hierarch dies, we can still double spell next turn, which is nice. So I think this is fine. Flooded Strand. All right. What do you got? Steam Vents. Bolt. Gotta bolt the bird. Gotta bolt the bird. Okay, so I'm definitely playing both of my creatures. The question is, do I fetch? I think I fetch. Fetch for basic planes. And the reason to fetch is not only to thin, but also it makes my knights better. Actually, making my knights better is not really an argument, because it just doesn't really change. Temple Garden. Okay, so my opponent's probably playing Zoo. Yep. They are indeed playing Zoo. Untap. Reclaimer. Yeah, that one plays. Your go. Do I care about Enduranceing? I think so. And I think I just Endurance straight up, like just send. Blue-green. Interesting. What's blue-green? So they fetch Flooded Strand for Sagoth's Triumph. That's fine. Blue-green. Draco? Oh, another Nishoba. Oh, this is fine. Boom. Super blown out. Super blown out here. Super blown out. Block. They play their land already, so there's no way that we get punished here. Give this pro green. Literally chomp attacked. I guess they got 1 point through. So technically not nothing. We're looking good though. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Oh my god, is this a dream? Is this a dream and we're just living it? I'm good. I think I'm gonna attack with Endurance. Like we're far ahead. We're far ahead enough that I think we can like straight up swing. And the Endurance was heavily telegraphed, right? Like I shocked. Maybe my opponent did not remember that this just taps for mana. Scion of Draco. It's fine, I think. Monkey. Also fine. This Giver is just working overtime right now. And then a Cattle. Okay, so unfortunately I'm going to have to shuffle this Titania away. No, opponent. Don't do it. Don't do it, opponent. Just don't do it. Yeah, I think we're just going for Saga here. Oh, well, never mind. All right, so we're playing against Sue. Prismatic Ending sounds incredible. Sanctifier seems kind of decent as well. Well, brutal Cathar. That's just hard to say. Brutal Cathar also seems decent. Thalia seems pretty bad, so let's cut Thalia. Giver, as we just saw, is the best card in the deck. Got 2 cards, potentially 4 cards to cut. So Sanctifier is weird because Sanctifier covers both Monkey and the Kavu, but that's really it. Then like the Nishoba, I actually am not, I guess I'm not super high on the Sanctifiers. They also get exiled by Leyline, chumps Wildland Cattle. I'd much rather have Prismatic. Let's bring Cathar to a 2, and then I kind of don't like Hierarch and want Hierarch at the same time. I'm definitely cutting Soul Guide though. Hierarch is in a really weird spot where I don't want it and I also want it. Well, there it is. So I'm gonna keep this hand. We're gonna turn 1 Hierarch, hopefully turn 2 Courser or like Dryad. Probably Dryad. Thespian Stage. Not great, I don't think. If this Hierarch survives, though, we're gonna be in business. How tough is for this Hierarch to survive? It's totally surviving, right? There's just no way that it doesn't survive. Who would be so cruel as to kill this Hierarch? Opponent. You would not. You would not kill my hierarch, would you? Interesting. Swing with the cattle, take 2. Oh, I guess they messed up there. Well, there's a Kabu. So now we have options for sure. I think I want to go for Dryad, because this is the one that allows me to hit more land drops and get ahead. Next turn I can go Courser into Knight. And if my opponent attacks, I mean, I'm assuming that they're going to attack with everything. And I think I just take it. Okay, so they have Overgrown Draco, okay. Well, now I don't have to take it. I can just block the... They take 5, they attack for 5, which I'm going to... Discarding Breeding Pool. Alright, so now we're going to Courser. We're going to hope that the top of the deck is kind to us. It's kind of... That's nice, actually. So here's a Courser into Cathar. So there's a land, and there's a land. So is it better? I think it's better for me to Prismatic Ending the Kabu. Yeah. Yeah, because the Knight is just a 3/3 white ending. Pass the turn back. We're going to be taking 4 here, which is a healthy amount. Next turn, we're going to get to Cathar, the Scion, and then play Knight. This also limits my opponent's selection. Yeah, Dryad is... I think we're just double blocking here. There's an argument for just blocking with Dryad because, like, I actually really care about the Cursor surviving, and I don't care so much about the Dryad surviving. Okay, yeah, that's an incredible exchange for me. They just 2-for-1 themselves just to kill the Dryad. Second Sign of Draco. Oof. So here's this card. I'm gonna exile the ugly one, and here's a Knight of the Reliquary. And we pass it back. So if they have Bolt, they kill Cathar on end step. They don't. Okay, cool. So if they had killed Cathar on end step, we were going to be in trouble. But as is, I think this is a good spot for us. Yeah, this is definitely. So last card in count is Jegantha. So we're obviously going to Collected Company, and maybe we upkeep Collected Company. That's a joke. Okay, so 4 mana, Collected Company. For a Knight of the Reliquary and a Giver of Runes, I guess. Skyclave Apparition. Skyclave only gets rid of this Nekatl, which I don't really care about, so I think I'd rather have Giver. Wait, why are there 6 cards? Was that? Oh, because this is the top of the deck. That makes sense. Okay, that was weird. Okay, so I think this is fine. Courser's gonna get in there because it can, and we are cooking. There was an argument for Cocoing on my opponent's turn, but if I draw a Dryad and there's another land on top, I get to start playing lands. If I find the Dryad of Coco, so I'm kind of interested in just main facing the Dryad. Main facing the Coco, sorry. If they have Tribal Flames, I guess I lose. There isn't much I can do about it though. Let's block with that one. Okay. I mean, that was actually a great attack from my opponent, and I kind of fell into the trap. It's not gonna work because I have Courser, but that was a good play from my opponent for sure. Very, very good play. So now I go to 1, and do they die on the crackback? Unclear. I mean, it was free for me to double block, so I should have just done that. Definitely poor play on my part. That's good because that blocks the Draco. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 4. Okay. So I did this so I can potentially find a land on top, which I don't. Make them shuffle. Now there's a Dryad on top. So I guess I can't attack, actually. So I'm going to serve with Cathar. Now we do have Giver, though. So we should be in fine shape, I think. Wait, did I just miss it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Was my opponent at 9? Because they shuffled for no reason? Because they fetched for no reason, I mean? Huh. Yeah, so I guess I missed that. Yeah, I guess I actually had lethal. Whoops. I mean, it's not going to matter. This is just locked up, but still weird. Could have dodged that. So let's get, I guess, what? Argoth. And now we fetch for basic planes. We still know that the last card in hand is the Jegantha, so not too worried about any of this. So we make a construct. I guess we can Thespian Stage copy Saga. I don't think that matters. What's gonna matter is this big Knight of the Reliquary that is going to start swinging. So here's an 8/8 Knight. I guess 10/10 Knight. Lifelink Trample. So they just have to throw everything under this, and then I just give it protection, and it's a blowout. Doesn't matter. All right, so kind of threw a little bit towards the end, but somehow dodged. 4-0 with this brew? All right, can we get there? Is this hand too much? This hand is basically like a Dryad, a Valakut, and a Dream. Let's keep it. I mean, I get to go turn 1 Giver, which is nice. I like that. Also, we're going to get to go turn 1 Giver off of basic planes, fetched by a Marsh Flats, and then immediately follow that up with a tapped Valakut. Archive Trap, we're playing against Mill, dude. I can never win, dude. I can just never win. This is fair, though. Like, this is just fair. This is just me getting what I deserve. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna shuffle now. Because... Oh my god, I drew Endurance. Oh my god, I have 1 Endurance in the main deck. That is the Endurance that's in my main deck, that one. Oh wow. Oh, the swings in this game. We're not even doing anything. It's turn 2, and the swings in this game are just... My opponent doesn't even know the swings in this game. They have no idea. Wait, Steam Vents? That's wild. My opponent has no idea about the swings in this game. They literally don't know. Okay, so I'm going to play a Forest, I'm going to play a Dryad. And I think I'm going to play a tapped Valakut, even though it exposes it to Field of Ruin. The reason for playing the tapped Valakut is because it's the only ETB tapped in my ETB tapped land in my hand. And if next turn I can go Endurance plus Valakut, copy with Stage. But if they have Field of Ruin, obviously we get destroyed. But this Giver is doing some protecting right now. Alright. We're playing here. Blue-Red Mill. This is like the battle of tier 1 decks right over here. Just a straight up battle of tier 1 decks. Okay, so. Land. Stage. Copy. Does this resolve? Yes, it does. Okay, so ping there. Ping your face. Always yes, always yes, always yield. This dead, please. That dead. Cool. Swing for 2. Protecting with Giver. Search your library for a trap card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and shuffle. Okay. So they have Archive Trap in hand. Field of Ruin. So if they tap out, I fetch and shock. They go after one of my Valakuts. So I fetch and shock. They take 6. And now we resolve that. We fetch another land. And that means we get to company. Let's get a Forest. Valakut you again. Now they get to Archive Trap, which is fine. Take 11. Sheldock Isle is what? Another Archive Trap. Fracture Sanity. Opponent mills 14. We get milled. I would like to cast Endurance, targeting myself. Woo, baby! Woo! Yep. This is what dreams were made of, in case you were wondering. This is what dreams are made of. I guess we did have 2 Endurance main deck, not just 1. So, 3rd Endurance obviously gets in there. What else? Do any of these cards do anything? I guess Prismatic Ending kills crabs. It's not the most exciting thing I've ever seen, but like, it is something that I kind of have to do. Brutal Cathar also kills crabs, but it's also a clock. Oh, Courser. Courser sucks. Get Courser out of there. Titania kind of enables itself, which is kind of funny. Soulguide Lantern can go because it only exiles my opponent's graveyard. Bojuka Bog, probably don't care about. I guess we have 25 lands, so we could, if we wanted to, scythe into more cards. So I could do something like this. It's 63. Do we care about Archon? And I guess, do we care about Cursor? Cursor is actually kind of reasonable as a way to like hit land drops. This seems fine. Like, I don't want to dilute my deck with bad cards too much. I guess I keep this. Do I though? No. No, this is just way too clunky. I mean, I'm gonna have a lot of mana, but I'm not really gonna have anything to do with it, so this is so much better, it's not even funny. Yeah, keep this bottom Shadow Spear. Island, ooh, I respect the Storm Island. I don't respect the frame. I think we're just gonna go Temple Garden into Hierarchy here, which is weird, but with my opponent having a crab on one, and me having drawn Skyclave and Brutal Cathar, I kind of want to start throwing out 2-drops. This also means that I can potentially... Also, if they mill me, this is going to just come down as a 3-4 on turn 3. Here they can bolt the Hierarch, which I guess it's fine. It means that I just play a Reclaimer. But I would like to Skyclave the Crab. They just Surgical Endurance, straight up. Okay. They should have left the Endurance in my graveyard. It makes it... Like, they literally can see my entire deck list right now, right? And by leaving the Endurance in the graveyard, they make it so... they just... they have one more card towards the Ancestral that needs 20 cards. 20 cards in the graveyard or 10? I can't remember. I think it's 20. It's been a minute since I've seen that card. Mill is kind of... I guess it's fallen a little bit out of favor. Oh, do they have counter magic? Because that would suck. I could go Dried into Reclaimer here, which I think it's what I'm gonna do. Mill me? Okay. Please don't mill. Okay, they didn't mill Valakut. Oh, they're gonna Surgical my Reclaimers? Okay. No Surgical and Reclaimer, that's good for me. So now Reclaimer doesn't die to Bolt, and it's kind of a pretty real clock here. I don't even know if I need to go activate a Reclaimer. I can just Skyclave Apparition and just move on. Just like start beating down. Expressive Iteration, okay, that's why they're playing. Because so far their Red Splash doesn't make any sense, but Expressive Iteration definitely makes sense. Scalding Tarn has been found. That's mill 6. Okay, so the Sagas are gone. The thing is, I don't even know if Valakut is gonna matter at this point, because I'm still like 2 lands away from Valakut. And it also enables the Shuffle trap. Jace's Phantasm. Well, that's a little target there. This card is just so bad in mill, in my opinion. Okay, so that means I get to do 2 things here, right? So, get to do that. Get to do this. Flagstones, get Sparta's Headquarters. And get my Valakut. And I also get to... I'm gonna kill the Crab here. I'm trying to figure out whether it's better for me to kill the Crab with Cathar or with Apparition. I think it's better to kill it with... Apparition. I'm trying to figure out which one is better, like, which one is worse for me if like Surprise comes back. And I think if the Crab... Like, they're gonna mill me, right? Like, the 5 damage just doesn't matter. Obviously, we can't attack. Endurance is getting exiled is kind of a big deal, though. Like, we are under a clock. We are definitely under a clock. They do know about the Cathar, though. Brutal. Okay. So now that they have destroyed my Valakut, there's no reason for me to want to have lands, so I'm just not going to shuffle and enable my opponent's thing. And both Sagas are gone, the stage is gone, Surgical Valakut. You know there's only one Valakut in my deck, like why are you doing this? My opponent's playing a little bit loosey-goosey over there. They literally have perfect info. They should have taken a picture of my deck. I don't know if they did that. So I guess they could have something like Boomerang? Am I playing around Boomerang? Just I'm playing around. They swing? Why on earth would you swing there? Like, I'm very easily winning the race. I am so confused right now. All right. I mean, I got a 2-turn clock, right? So I'm going to play out Titania here just because it's bigger. If I want to, I can block. I'm not going to, but find the trap. You got it. You got it, champ. Archive trap was found. Wild. What else could have been found? I wonder. And by the way, me not searching from Wildfire. Oh, look at this. Yep. My opponent would have been able to mill me because they had the trap in hand during their turn. They had the Trap Maker Snare. So they would have been able to like actually mill me if I had search. And instead, we got the 5-0. Hell yeah, this is so sick. Well, to say that this deck was a delight would be the understatement of the century. This deck was a lot of fun. We did get to flip Titania finally did it. Didn't matter, but but it actually happened. She was flipped on the battlefield, and this line that happens in the middle of the card actually was very awkward to see. But besides that, the deck was hilarious and a lot of fun. Things that I liked, Knight of the Reliquary was actually kind of impressive. Also, Dryad kind of having a very minimal, very minimal package. It's literally just the singleton Valakut, that's it. But just having access to that and the fact that we have 8 different ways of tutoring for that Valakut gave it some, when it was there, like it actually mattered, which is nice. Without being intrusive, right? Like it's not that we were stuck with multiple hands where we couldn't really cast our spells, or it didn't also happen that we had like multiple clunky TV top lands coming into play, tapped, that was making our draws very awkward. We didn't really have anything of that kind happening, which it was nice. The sagas felt a little bit lackluster. I mean, obviously, this is again a pretty minimalist saga package. Just being able to tutor for Shadow Spear is kind of great, but maybe like these should not be in the deck. Like I could see these just not being in the deck. You can cut one of these for maybe the second copy of Valakut, because then you don't need Thespian Stage anymore, and then you get to play one more fetch land, which is actually something that would be nice. Like it would be nice to have access to maybe something like 10 fetches. Right now we have 8, right? So having access to 9 or 10 would make both our Reclaimer, our Knights, and our Coursers a little bit better. So that's definitely another way to go. Then we could play something like Prismatic Endings in the main deck over the artifact package. So definitely like another angle that we could explore. I was surprised about both the Giver of Runes and the Thalia. Like both of these cards actually did a lot of work, and that speaks more about this current state of the format than anything else. I don't think that these are necessarily like the best cards, but they seemed a lot better positioned than I was giving them credit for, and I could see going for more copies of either one of these. But again, at that point, I would probably be needing to just cut the saga straight up. Also, Brutal Cathar was nice, but slightly awkward. Like, I mean, not awkward, more risky is the word that I'm looking for. So, Brutal Cathar would come down and it would sort of get rid of an issue for a second, but then it would not really be a solid or like a reliable way to keep the threat out of sight, which made things a little bit awkward. So definitely like a lot of room for exploration with a list like this one, but these being a 4 off, these being a 4 off, it's kind of, and these being a 4 off, it is exactly where I want to be. Also, shout out to Endurance, giving us that game 1 versus Mill that we would have lost otherwise. Endurance is a hell of a card, and if you're playing any sort of deck like this, I think you should have at least 2 copies. Maybe, honestly, maybe we should just be playing more. Maybe this whole Titania Voice of Gaia thing is too memey, which it probably is, and this should just be more copies of Endurance, because this card is just an absolute banger in this kind of like fair deck, because the decks that Endurance is good against usually are decks where this kind of deck gets run over. So having access to main deck copies of Endurance is a big deal. And yeah, obviously we only played 5 matches, so we also played against some weird decks. I know that Prowess is making a comeback, but like obviously like Blue Red Mill was kind of awkward. Like it's not like a meta deck necessarily. So definitely there was like a lot of outliers in there, but we do get paired against Cam. We do get paired against the Su deck. I don't personally like the Su deck too much. I think it's a lot of fun, but I don't think it's particularly good. So we did get paired against some tier 2 decks and below, but we also did get paired against a tier 1 deck or two. So it was like a medium representation of the metagame. What I can say is the deck at least has legs, and it's doing something nice and proactive, and it's playing cards that are good. Particularly Knight of the Reliquary, I was kind of impressed by how good it was. It feels like this card fell out of favor when everybody was playing stuff like Solitude and everybody was like jamming Prismatic Endings and whatnot. And that's just not really the case anymore. Like, people are now playing more going down to Unholy Heat and stuff like Leyland Binding. And Knight of the Reliquary just, in a Lightning Bolt meta, this is like the card that you want to be playing. This is what you want your 3-drop to be doing, right? So, definitely an interesting and what's the word I'm looking for? An optimistic. It leaves you with an optimistic view about the actual potential of this deck or that an archetype like this. Without further ado, that's going to be the end of this stream. I had a really, really good time. Obviously, winning is great. I'm 5-0 with a brew. Obviously, feels fantastic. Hopefully, you enjoyed it as well. And if you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below telling me what you liked, what you didn't like. And if you are interested in using mana traders or TCG players of service, you can check out and support the stream with the links in the description of the video down below. And if you would like to play your deck list, whichever the one that is, just like Mark gave me this list to play, you can actually check the donations link in the description of the video as well. And also Patreon and coaching sessions are available to you as well as ways to support the stream. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, folks, and bye-bye.